So this is how I like to make runners. I don't put batting in them. I mean, you can easily just quilt the top of it here and put the batting, and then when you flip it around, it's pretty much done. You'll have to just do a couple lines. But what I like to do, you have your finished top, you put your backing right side up, just put them together, and then what you're going to do is sew all the way around the edges, leaving a turning gap. And I'm going to turn this up here. There you go. This is where I'm going to leave a turning gap. I like to do it on the ends, and I like to do it in a space where I don't have seams. So this one here gives me a nice, 3 inches without having to worry about going into seams, because when you turn through the seams, you can split them open. Now, if you have to turn through seams, like say if I had to do it here where I've got 2 seams, what I would do there is I would actually just do a quick little stitch on the machine very close to the edge, just seals all of that, and that just gives it that strength so you don't have to worry. But that's what I'm going to do. And then I do pin. I don't want to do clips because I want to make sure this stays exactly where it is, and I do pin all the way around, especially on something like a basket weave or something, because as much as you've ironed it and tried to make it go straight, it's still going to have some type of stretch within these little seam guides. So that's what we're going to do there. And I'll come back when I have got that done. So here we are. It's all been sewn all the way around except for this little gap right there. So I've trimmed off most of these edges. I just got to trim off this edge here. And then clip all your corners. Most of us know what that means, but if you don't know what it means, you got the corner here. Clip it so that you just take that little squared edge off and you get that there. Just makes it nicer when you go to turn it and you just want nicer finished corners. Don't go through the stitching, then you'll have a hole. All right. So we've done that. Now, turn it right side out. Usually I stick my hand all the way to the end, grab the back of it between my fingers, and pull. Voila! Now normally I take my edge turner thing, which is currently at the shop, and I need to really get another one, so I have one at home. So in absence of that, stick your fingers in all the way to the end and find your little corners and pop them out with your fingers. I also like to pull these seams apart just a little bit, just so they know that they have to go out and not stay in. There we go. Corners like that. That corner and that corner. Now, if you get a corner that does not want to come out, these ones here are actually, there we go. That one doesn't really want to come out. Just take your pin, go into the corner, and just ease it out. Don't want to make any holes. Just go like that. And they do pop out. You get a nicer corner. There we go. So just make sure all my little corners are pretty. There we go. Okay. So now your runner is looking a little bit better, like a runner. Now take it to the iron, give it a super good iron. And to make sure, these little things, you can move them with your finger just to make sure they pop out and they're not all folded inwards, because they will like to do that. And give it a really good press. And then you do want to do some pinning on here, because these will move all over the place when you do some basic quilting. So grab your safety pins and pin periodically. You don't have to over pin this thing, but you do want some in structured areas. I like to do sort of here, 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 here. Just keep this little pattern going. That way it keeps it all stabilized. And then you can quilt it however you want. You can get super fancy, I don't do super fancy because that's just not my nature. So I just do simple, basic. I'm going to follow stitch in the ditch, which means you're literally going to just follow these lines. And usually I just square them up. So it'll be these 2 lines that'll be done. And then I will go back and do these lines here. And then when you're finished all of that, this little end should turn in quite nicely like that. And then you can do a 1/4 inch or an 1/8 of an inch seam, or very, very close to the edge, basically, all the way around, seals it, and you'll have a runner. So when I'm done that, I'll show you that. So here's the finished runner all together, with a couple things I have to cut off still, but there you go. They lay pretty straight. They do pretty good in the wash because you've at least gridded it, so it's not too much shrinkage, and didn't take too much time. You don't have to worry about putting binding on the sides, and yeah, there we go. So quick, easy table runner. Enjoy.